Welcome to the MOOCs module on graphics and animation development. In this video, we will cover some of the GIMP tools like blur and sharpen tool, smudge tool, dodge and burn tool, ink tool and airbrush tool. So let us see from where we can get all these tools that we are going to learn. So here is the GIMP toolbox, and right now we are pointing at blur or sharpen tool. The next to that is smudge tool, and next is dodge or burn tool, and if we come upwards in this row, the first tool is airbrush tool and next to that is ink bottle tool. So in this session we will learn all these 5 tools. So first of all, let us see how we can activate blur and sharpen tool for using. So we can selectively blur or unblur using the brush tool, and blur tool can be activated from the GIMP toolbox by making use of either the shortcut key, that is Shift plus capital U, or we can also make use of this tool from the tools menu, and then further you are required to click on paint tools option and then on blur. Similarly, we can selectively smudge using a smudge tool, and this tool can be activated from the GIMP toolbox, or we can also make use of it from the tools menu and then paint tools option, and then we need to click on smudge option. The shortcut for using the smudge tool is simple capital S. So we need to know that there are several ways through which we can first of all start using a tool, either from the GIMP toolbox directly or by making use of keyboard shortcut key, or we can also start using the tool from the tools menu and then the paint tools option. So next one is dodge or burn tool. We can selectively darken or lighten a particular color using this particular tool. Dodge tool can be activated from the GIMP toolbox or by making use of the shortcut key, that is Shift plus D, and this tool can also be used from the paint tools option. The next tool is ink tool, and ink tool can be utilized for writing in a calligraphic style, or you can say we can paint in a calligraphic style. Ink tool can be activated again from the GIMP toolbox or by making use of shortcut key capital K, and it can also be started from the tools menu, then paint tools option and then ink option. Airbrush tool can be activated from the GIMP toolbox by making use of the shortcut key, that is capital A, and also it can be started from the tools menu option and paint tools, and then we can find the airbrush option from there. This tool can be used for painting by varying the pressure. So we can create wonderful effect by making use of airbrush tool and by making changes in the various tools options. So in this particular figure you can say that we have written this bird word by making use of the ink tool. So you can know about the features of all these tools in detail by going through these given references. And now let us have a quick demo on the GIMP software. So for this we have already opened the GIMP software, and one file is already on the screen named flower 8. So you can also open first of all GIMP software, and then you can open some image file on which you are going to learn the tools. So let us start with the first tool, that is blur or sharpen tool. You can find from the toolbox where I am pointing right now. Just click on this and you can see that the brush size is as per your requirement. If not, then you can increase or decrease the brush size. So we need to check for the suitability of the brush size, and for this you can make use of square brackets for increasing or decreasing the brush size. Like this, I am trying to reduce the brush size with the help of the left square bracket, and with the help of right square bracket from the keyboard I can increase the brush size. So suppose we have set the brush size, and then you can start applying the blur tool. So what I am doing, I am simply clicking on these details given in the center of flower. So I am just pressing the left mouse button on the areas where I need to blur the details of the flower image. And after some time you will notice that the details are not that clear. These are comparatively blur. So you can also see using Shift plus, I have zoomed the image, and you can see that in the middle of the flower the details are not that fine because we have applied the blur tool here. And the reverse of this is sharpen, and sharpen can be activated by using the same tool, but we need to check it out from the tools option. Just go vertically down in this tools option and you can see that one radio button is given here, and you need to click here on the sharpen option. By default blur was selected, that's why we were able to apply the blur tool. So just click on sharpen option and it will just highlight the pixels where you will click. So I am just focusing on this area, so let's see what it will do. In fact, we have applied this option and we have tried to sharpen the pixels, but in case if it is not clearly visible, then we can even try on some other image also. So let me check it out, one more image. So I am going to minimize this and maximize this one. So you are seeing that the details are changed right now, and we can see the changes by zooming it. So you can see by zooming it to this level that the flower petals has been changed due to the sharpen tool. So through this you can create a contrast. The details are not as before. So you can wisely make use of blur and sharpen. In case if it is needed to blur, then only we are going to make use of blur option, or the reverse of that, that is sharpen. So I am just closing this file, and let us see the next tool. And before that we are going to minimize the size of this brush tool. So just set it to your requirement level. Now the next tool is smudge tool. So for this I am going to make use of another image. So I am going to open this bird image here. So just zoom it little bit so that you can see the effect of the tools with clarity. So I am going to apply first of all the smudge option. So smudge is working like this, like you are trying to spread the color outside. So you can see that whatsoever color of the bird was there, it is getting mixed with the other color pixels outside the boundary. So this kind of effect is possible with the help of smudge tool. So we are spreading the color in the outward direction. This is smudging. This effect is known as smudging of the color. So I am just undoing the things. So it was the original bird image. We have undone the effects. So it should be used if and only if this kind of smudging effect is required. The next one is dodge or burn tool. So click on dodge. Just like blur and sharpen, you can see that in the tools menu, both the options are available. The first radio button is dodge, which is by default selected, and the next one is burn. So these two options are used for lightening or creating shadow like effect. So currently I am using the dodging effect. So it will lighten the pixels. And if I choose the different option, that is burn, so just try to apply on some light area. You can see that it is making it dark. So in order to darken the pixels, we make use of this. So if we use it selectively, then we can even create a shadow like effect with the help of dodge tool. Their application part is simple, but we need to understand where we need to apply these tools in the real time. So now next we are going to move on to ink tool. So we are just doing Ctrl Z in order to undo the effect of dodge and burn tool. So we have covered the three tools: blur and sharpen, smudge tool, and next to that is dodge or burn tool. Now move on to the next tool. So if it is ink bottle, then ink bottle is used for writing in a calligraphic style. So for that you can first of all check what is the brush size. So we can see that the brush size is not appropriate, it's quite thick. So just undo and reduce the brush size. You can check the stroke. So if it is coming okay, then you can start applying. So before we actually write something on this image, let us see, in addition to changing the brush size, what else we can do. So there is one more tools option, that is shape of the brush. So currently the circular one is selected, or you can also make use of square brush, or the last one, that is diamond in shape. So it will simply make some changes in stroke effect. So let us see what will happen if you will make use of circular. So in this manner, just like a pencil tool or some other pen tool, you can make use of this ink tool also in order to write out something on the image or for creating some calligraphic style effects. So next to this is Airbrush tool. So before using, click on the Airbrush tool, and we need to understand some of the tools options first of all. So one thing is what kind of brush you want to use. So it is having different options like this star, this sun-like brush, pepper, simple different effects are available. So you first of all pick some brush style. So I have chosen this star brush here, and I need to check whether this size of the brush is appropriate or not. So if you are satisfied, then you can make use of it, otherwise you can make the changes. So you can also choose some other foreground color. So I have changed it to green, and background one also you can change. So let us suppose we have set the foreground color to green, and after that we will move on to some more options. In this dynamics part, you can opt for some interesting options like random colors. So we have set it to random colors. Now let us see what it will do. So the painting of this star will keep on changing color, and the effect will be visible randomly. So the change of color of the star is random in nature here. Track direction. So a trail like effect can also be created using this, and if you will stop at one place, the intensity of the painting will keep on increasing. You can see that this particular star is comparatively darker in green color as compared to the earlier stars that we have just painted. So this is the variation of pressure. So you can again try. So if you will keep on clicking at the same place, the stars will be comparatively darker in color. One more option you can try here. So we have tried the random color option for this. We have also seen the track direction option. You can also think of applying the fading. So you can also apply fading effect if you want. And for that you can change the fade length option. So it all depends upon you with how much pressure you are using this tool. Accordingly the color will be visible. Another option is perspective. So let me check it out. Here is the perspective option. You can also change the perspective of the painting style. If you want to make changes in the brush, you can also choose some other brush also. So rather than using this star, let me use this pepper. So you can see that as I have just applied the perspective, so that's why this pepper is visible in different shape. And you can see that some more options are available like aspect ratio. You can increase or decrease this before you actually paint. So I want pepper to be in darker color, that's why I am stopping for a moment at one place, and you can see that how you can keep on drawing this as per your requirement. So we have just seen the simple application part of it, but you need to think before using the tools that whether such kind of trailing effect or painting with varying pressure is required or not. So let me repeat in brief the tools that we have just covered. The first tool that we have covered is blur or sharpen tool, which can be used for blurring or unblurring the color pixels. The next tool we have covered is smudge tool. Smudge tool can be used for smudging the color, and it will give you just like a spreading of color effect. Another tool that we have covered is dodge or burn tool, and with the help of this tool you can lighten or darken the pixels. Another tool that we have seen is ink tool, and with the help of ink tool we have seen that how beautifully we can write something in a calligraphy style. And the last tool that we have covered is airbrush tool, and with the help of airbrush tool you can paint the objects using a brush of different shapes, and by changing the brush size, aspect ratio or the perspective. So these different options are there, and we can also apply the fading effect also. So while painting, these all dynamics will be applied and you can create beautiful effects. Thank you.